Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, I'm your host Danny and Juice. How are we doing tonight, Juice?
That was good. Well, Danny, despite the weather outside, things are certainly heating up here, leading into Double or Nothing this weekend. And I'm ready to talk some wrestling. We got some good stuff to chat about.
We got some
let's dive in.
wrestling tonight. So, for anyone who's never been here before, thank you for showing up tonight. We are the SharpSHOOTers, and this is Thursday, which means this is Last Point Standing, where we talk about the last week of wrestling business. Before we get to business, we get to some housekeeping. First off, if you haven't subscribed already, please shoot us a subscribe below. We're at 4 out of 10. We really want to get to 10 out of 10. If you have Amazon Prime, it is free for you. Helps us out. The instructions are in the chat. Please, thank you. Secondly, thank you to Accept the Win for being the official band of the podcast. You hear them before and after the show and during our breaks. Thank you very much. And now we get into our business of Last Point Standing. So, we start off with WWE. We kind of run through that since only one host really watches WWE. And then we go into AEW where we do more of a back and forth, which is more enjoyable for that host. He will not be named. So, starting off with, we have our WWE quick points. Starting off with, let me just find my timer. Where'd my timer go? There's my timer. Starting off with LFG. So,
there you go.
Were you able to see the finals of LFG?
Sadly, yes, I was. Freebird, Slay EW, Slay Queen, yes.
Oh my God, as some Gen Z person would say, he said.
I'm in.
I guess
I'm
he's
in.
that
I'm
Gen
in.
Z person. Anyway, so
I
were you as disappointed as I was with the final winners?
Yeah. Typical WWE fashion. They fucked it up. They went with the complete opposite people
Crazy.
I thought they should have. Whatever. It's so stupid. Whole thing's just completely fucked. And like, I love like after all the pomp and circumstance that WWE normally is and does, like they just ended it in like a random back room. Like, like they didn't do like a big
you couldn't do it at Madison Square
venue.
Garden or something, like after the event or something, like anything.
The funny thing is, they probably did. It's probably just some random room in MSG. Like they just threw them in the room and said, "Let's end this." Like just very un-WWE like. But the thing that annoyed me the most about it is, I don't know if you saw this. I don't even know if I told you about it. But like I think the next day, somebody confirmed that Shiloh and Xena, the two people that lost, are going to be back for season 2, competing again for contracts.
They confirmed it. After the winners were announced.
Oh, did they? I must have completely just shut down and missed that. Well, yeah, I must have legit just been like, this is stupid and stopped paying attention. Either way, terrible, because now, like, if you think about it, okay, so again, it's part of the reality TV and the story, but it's like now they're coming in with months of training and a heads up on the other competition. You'd like to think they're going to intentionally tell them they can't be on the same team that they were last time, but so they get a different perspective of a trainer. It's just dumb. I didn't like it, and like I've said already on here, I'm not back for season 2, so they can do whatever they want. I'm out.
No, I agree. I'm not back for season 2 either. I think the winners were bad, and the reasons weren't good either. Like saying that they're both TV ready or character ready, that kind of goes against what you were also saying, that they're both like too emotional and that they can't handle the spotlight and they can't handle the pressure. So now you're putting two guys out there on NXT that can't handle the pressure that you're supposedly going to put against your champions. Doesn't make sense to me. I didn't get it.
Two more things. I love that they, like, in the last like 2 weeks, like it was obvious if you were watching all season that Taker was running away with this points wise.
Yes.
And I love it. The last 2 weeks they completely abandoned like the graph, the chart, and they were like, who's gonna win it? Who's gonna get it? And I think they were making it a mystery when Taker was up by like 4 points.
Yeah,
that was funny.
My favorite line was Taker saying, "I don't even have a wrestling school."
Yeah, that was good. Get Booker, fuck him,
and Bubba.
But I also, I
think
I also didn't like. I didn't really like how after all of this, like, it just comes down to just Shawn Michaels' decision.
That was confusing to me as well. Like, you had all these guys do stuff, and then all of a sudden Shawn Michaels is like your final decision. I don't understand the point of that.
Like, I mean, hey, if he's being shown videotape along the way, fine. But like, as far as me as a viewer goes, like he was supposed to be like the host or whatever, and it was Alicia Taylor or whoever that announcer is half the time.
Agreed.
Like that was a little annoyance too. But whatever, move on.
Agreed. All right, moving on. These points will be a little quicker. We actually spent a lot of time on a WWE point. That's crazy. So,
because I watched it.
I know. Next up, just so you know, SmackDown and Raw, not that bad this week if you are a WWE fan. And honestly, a wrestling fan, they had a lot more matches. It was nice. Some of the dialogue wasn't awful. It wasn't the worst. John Cena wasn't really on. That helped a lot. Logan Paul was on, though, so that didn't help too much. But Money in the Bank season is here, and we already have some participants. So I just want to keep you in the loop as we go along. I'll let you know all the participants, and you can at least get an idea of who they're trying to push, yada, yada, yada. On SmackDown, let me just pull up really quick. I should have had my notes. I apologize. On SmackDown, we had our first and so far only male Money in the Bank participant, where we had Solo Sikoa defeat. Where are we? Solo Sikoa defeat Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix, which was surprising to me. I thought they were going to try to get Rey in this match because they were kind of pushing him a little bit, and he's the new guy. But no Rey. You got Solo in there. So that's a male participant. And then also on SmackDown, you had Alexa Bliss beating Michin and Chelsea Green in order to advance. And then on Raw, we had Roxanne and Rhea Ripley in their respective trios matches. I'm not going to put their matches. That's fine. But in their respective triple threat matches, they are also advanced. So we have 3 women participants already: Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, and Rhea Ripley, and 1 male in Solo Sikoa out of 6. Each one has 6. Any early thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Solo sucks, so I have no thoughts on the men's one so far because I didn't really gauge it. And then in terms of the... Hold on. Is there an ad running right now?
No, there should not be an ad running right now.
I see ad 1 of 2 in the top right corner of my screen. I don't know if that's just... Sorry. All right, well, I'll keep going.
Nope, no ads.
If anybody...
running. Don't scare me.
Okay, then I don't know what that is in the corner, but I digress. Apologies. As for the women, I mean, as of right now, it seems like it's going to go to Rhea Ripley. And if it's not Rhea, I don't think Bliss has a shot at the moment. And then when it comes to Roxanne Perez, she could be a sneaky one with everything going on. And without getting too far into it, I would kind of... Oh, it's coming up next to your next point. I just saw Judgment Day. So I guess you can kind of explain to me where this Roxanne Perez thing came from, because she just started it. I really don't understand. My last thought that I want to share, I didn't see it on here. I'm surprised you didn't have it on here. Get well soon, Zoe Stark. That was a brutal leg injury that I saw on Raw. You did see it, right?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was just bringing up points that we might actually have more of a discussion into, but yeah, no, Zoe Stark, that was terrible what happened to your knee. It looked really bad. I hope it's nothing major. I haven't heard reports, though.
Yeah, it looked bad. Honestly, I mean, I feel like it's a combination of both of them. I feel like I don't know who I really would blame more there, because like Kyrie, first match back, clearly was not ready, and I've noticed since she first came back to WWE after like the first run through, she's not been good. I love Kyrie Sane, but like
agree.
she does not communicate well with anybody in the ring, it feels like. Very sloppy. So I kind of blame her there, but also Zoe, I mean, she was very far away when Zoe jumped. So I don't know, man. Just a bad spot, really rough. Didn't look good.
Agreed.
So get well soon, Zoe.
Really quick, Roxanne beat Becky Lynch and Natalya, just so you know. And in the main event, Charlotte had beat Kyrie Sane and it's Kyrie Sane and Zoe. That's where Zoe got the injury. Yes.
You mean Rhea?
Rhea.
You said Charlotte.
Sorry, I did say Charlotte. Rhea. So then going right on to Roxanne, and that was the only point I was going to bring up about Roxanne. And honestly, there's no real explanation yet. All right. It was literally after the Raw main event between Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso and Braun Breaker. We go backstage, or actually right before it, and Balor just introduces the New Day, the Judgment Day, to Roxanne Perez, and doesn't really say anything. She just has like a platter of chicken nuggets for Dom, and Raquel Rodriguez says, "Get out of here," and like that's really it. So doesn't introduce her as a new member, introduces her as like a backup, like, hey, in case we need help.
So I did see something a few weeks ago where they did have Finn backstage talking with Roxanne in the background.
Yes, that was
like,
a background thing that was never really pointed at.
Yeah, like an Easter egg thingy. If you caught it, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, whatever. I mean, I guess they're trying to have Finn use Roxanne to get to Dom and piss off Lynn and cause dissension. I mean, whatever. Some people are still into it, but like I've said, this is 2-year-old Judgment Day discourse drama.
It's so crazy that it's still Judgment Day we're talking about. Everyone thought after last year's Mania that was going to be like a quick 1 or 2 months, it was going to be over, and it's still going on. It's nuts. All right. And the last WWE point that I will bring to pretty much just anyone's attention that's going to be watching it this weekend. This weekend is Saturday night's main event. The the card for this weekend is Jey Uso defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Logan Paul. This past Monday on Raw, it opened up with pretty much like Logan Paul kind of hyping up the match. Gunther coming out and telling Logan Paul, like, you better not win and cost me my chance at revenge against Jay. And that all broke out to like an eventual brawl, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, most likely Jey Uso winning and going against Gunther in a rematch. Next up, we have CM Punk, your boy, and Sami Zayn versus, I'm not sure if they have a name yet, I don't think so, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And people are suspecting that they're going to add a new member and quite possibly shows up this weekend. Nothing. Just curious. Just trying to see if I even got a facial reaction.
No.
After that, we got a non-title match between John Cena and R-Truth. We didn't talk about it last week, but after Backlash itself, R-Truth pretty much helped John Cena retain the championship. Then after Backlash at the press conference, John Cena AA'd R-Truth through the table. On SmackDown, R-Truth gave a nice little backstage segment where he was saying, like, I'm going to help John Cena find himself again, and I'm going to beat him in a match. So the real John Cena comes out. So that's how we have this match this Saturday, R-Truth versus John Cena, in a non-title match, by the way.
Should have been for the belt, and
Agreed.
At this point, I don't want to see it for the belt. Now that you're not doing it,
exactly. Like, he can't win and then have a title. Like, I don't want a rivalry. It would have been a nice, cute little one match title shot for R-Truth, but they ruined
lost it.
Exactly,
you lost the window.
And then, in what seems like the co-main event, because I assume Jey Uso versus Logan Paul is the main event, we have a steel cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, and that all happened from there, just continuing rivalry going through. So it's a 4-match card this Saturday, the night before Double or Nothing. Those sons of bitches.
Good for them.
All right, so that's all our WWE points. Since we get through them rather quickly now, we're not going to go to commercial break in between WWE and AEW. We're just going to go right to AEW. So why don't you start?
Before you start the timer, I did have one thing to bring up in case you didn't see it or hear about it. It came up today. Just some WWE news. So next year's WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, I saw that message you sent me.
Supposed to be taking place in New Orleans. It has recently come out. There's reports that WrestleMania is no longer going to be in New Orleans next year. And this is reported apparently by like the New Orleans tourism something, whatever. I don't know. Apologies for that. But so everyone immediately started speculating that this is England. Like they're gonna go to England, they're gonna go to London, they're gonna go international. They can even go Saudi or something like that. Um, since then, though, I don't know if you've seen this. This is a newer report that came out. Now, apparently, they're going back to Vegas
Oh.
for another 2 night Mania, and uh, why?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Granted, a lot of people come from around the world anyway, so it almost doesn't really matter where you go for Mania. But like, money talks, so it's kind of fucked up, though.
It probably was something like with the money though. It probably had a really good revenue or whatever the case is.
Yeah, but even with the revenue, like just like you've been to New Orleans now, we're on what? This is 42 coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So you did 30 and 34 in New Orleans. You've been there twice in the last 10-ish years. So the revenue shouldn't be an issue if you went back that quick. But to have a deal in place in New Orleans and then Vegas comes in with more money and you run to it, that's bad, man. I'm sorry. Like, and apparently they're trying to make up for it by they're giving New Orleans money in the bank next year. I don't know, whatever. It's business. It's WWE, so it's all going to be gross.
Yeah, that
I don't like
sucks.
it.
No, that really sucks. But... And I mean, it doesn't surprise me though. Like that was probably just exactly what it was. They gave us more money, so we're just going to take it. But is that going to happen every year? Then what are we going to have Mania Vegas every year because they're going to throw more money at them? I don't understand. When does it stop?
Yeah, and I'd say the same thing about anywhere they go. It just happens that it's Vegas and it's 2 years in a row. If they were going to freaking. If they were doing this to anywhere, I'd be like, all right, it's fucked up what they did in New Orleans.
For sure.
But either way. Okay, moving on to the good stuff. Hooray.
Yay.
First off, I wanted to briefly throw in a little segment here just to plug the Road to All In budget game one more time.
Coming for you, Jay DeFalco, you little... I didn't say it.
So we are currently at 9 people. We lost 1 from the WWE game. They are not coming back.
Oh, yeah. Killer Tomato scared.
Ever again. But yeah, so again, I'm putting it out there. Anybody that's in it already knows the full rundown of the rules, the changes. I won't get too deep into it unless you have any thoughts that you want to talk about or ask yourself, Danny, or anybody in the chat. Now's the time you can bring it up. But the only thing I really want to get across is, again, if you're watching this and you have not signed up or you know someone that is interested, they need to have a team sent to me by noon on Sunday. And this is purely for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view and the pre-show. After that, you'll have to make a new team for the next week of Dynamite and Collision. So right now, this is just keeping Double or Nothing in mind. If you want to wait for Collision to be done, for the 0-hour matches to be announced, I understand. Just keep in mind, I need that team by Sunday at noon. So you have an official roster submitted. If you want or need I have the talent pools. I have the points breakdowns. I can resend them to anybody. And if you're interested, just write it in chat right here. Reach out to us on our socials. Reach out to me personally on my socials. Any method you want. Come to me, and I will give you all you need to know to sign up and join. It's not a lot of effort. It's really more work for me than anything, but I enjoy it. And I think AEW will be a lot of fun to score this with. So that's it. Just last call. If you want in, now's the time. Sign up.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, and honestly, there's nothing that I have to add. I'm looking at the pool over and over, and it's such a big talent pool. Like, it's just going to be so much. And luckily, AEW does announce a lot of their matches in advance, so even the unannounced matches, there aren't usually too many of them. So that's a good thing about them, but still, it's going to be a crazy... I'm very interested. The big change to me is just and I think good for you, is the foreign object change. I think that's going to be a big, because once you said you're doing AEW, I was like, all right, so I'm going to get like 100 points just in one John Moxley match. Like, what are we going to do here?
Yeah, well, so I considered a few things. At first, I was like, okay, I'll just leave it the same. I'll bite the bullet.
Nah,
then
man,
I thought about doing like a tiered system where it was like 1 to 3 hits, then 4 to 6 hits, kind of something like that, where it's more points on a tier. And then literally the night before I sent out the list, I was watching the the Gates of Agony and the Big Bill.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I was watching the street fight, and that's kind of where I was like in my head going over what would work. And that's when it hit me. I was like, all right, you know what? In AEW, at least when they do these big matches, they use enough of a variety of weapons that I think that'll work.
I think that was smart call.
So we'll see. I left finishers alone. I left those the same at least, so those can still stack like crazy.
And to AEW's credit, they don't do like I think that's what WWE does a little more than AEW is that they do a lot in a row. Where AEW will do more than one, but they usually don't do like 5 or 6. Like sometimes AEW will do 5 finishers in a match. It's crazy.
The only thing with AEW is that some wrestlers have like a lot more finishers.
That's what I was gonna say. How like just when I choose a wrestler, I guess I just ask you like just to be clear on what his finishers are. If I'm not sure, right, then you'll just let us know.
Yeah, sure. You can ask if you want in advance. Like I know, for example, like when Punk was doing the Anaconda Vice, I was counting it as a finisher.
Yeah.
Even though he hasn't won one in a recent run, he used to win it with it. So, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be fine. I think it's going to be fun. But again, just, hey, sign up. I'd love to at least get back to 10. But I know there were a lot of people that were interested and said they were in season 1.
Yeah, I'm going to hunt those little bastards down.
I really hope they come to me in season 2 because you got like 3 days left. So get on it. All right. Moving on, we have Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet taking place at Double or Nothing. And it's going to be a stretcher match.
So interesting.
And I have to admit, I mean, listen, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to it. But it just seems like it's a way to get Ricochet some easy heel heat. I don't think this is a match nor a feud that warranted a stretcher match, let alone the first ever stretcher match in AEW. So I don't know. I'll enjoy it. I like both of these guys. I just think the stipulation's a little too much too soon. What do you think?
I 100% agree. I don't mind a stipulation match. A stretcher match is one of those where like it's supposed to be either a start to like a really bloody long feud or the end to like a really bloody long feud. Like the stretcher match, you're supposed to incapacitate them and presumably they're going to be gone for a while if you put them in an ambulance and send them off. I feel like their feud never got to that point, and it hasn't even warranted like this kind of stipulation. So I'm still very confused by it. Again, it'll be fun because of the two guys doing it, but it doesn't fit what's happening between them.
Yeah, and there's been a story there, so at least like it's not that random. The stipulation's random. The feud and matchup is not. Like if they were doing the second match, because Mark beat Ricochet on TV a few weeks ago, so that's a big proponent for doing this. But either way, I've said my piece. It'll be a great match, but just kind of random.
Agreed.
Next up, I wanted to bring up Megan Bayne because I just feel like I know Collision is Collision, but watching the reaction to her, like during everything that she was doing, the entrance, the wrestling. I mean, yeah, that crowd in particular, they just did not care for her, and it sucked because her and Anna Jay worked their ass off. It was a decent, fun TV match, nothing crazy.
I was gonna say I liked it. It was. I don't think it was a bad match at all.
Yeah, and I think Megan. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Megan Bayne's entrance was a little different too. Her music, I think they changed it. But either way, I liked it. It was just I was bummed out that like, I don't know. And this is kind of why I had a problem with the Toni Storm match because like now you look at the last month and a half and the follow up, and crowds quickly stopped caring because you kind of killed that mystique aura, if you will. But
and that is what we said. If they weren't going to put the title on her, they shouldn't have put her in that match so quickly because this was going to happen. But
yeah.
Well, I mean, they'll salvage it, I hope, but still, it's just very, very confusing and annoying.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I wanted to talk about Jon Moxley, in particular, his Collision promo. I don't know if did you watch all Collision or?
Yeah.
We'll get to that next.
Yeah.
So I loved the promo when he was all bloody post-cage match with Gabe Kidd there and Marina. I think it was one of the best promos he's done since the Death Riders thing is gone. Just being fired up, heated like that, just very, very good.
I agree.
And it laid out very obviously that Gabe Kidd is like works for him or is with him and not necessarily with the Bucks, which makes more sense. Despite some people not understanding it, it does make more sense for him to be with them.
Based off what you said last week, that's what I assumed. I knew they didn't like, and we weren't like sure, but like that is what I assumed that that he was going to side with the guys who were trying to change the way AEW is and not side with the guys in charge of AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also I just wanted to bring up for anybody that did not watch live or tried to watch it on demand, the AEW Collision feed cut off a half an hour early on Saturday night. It went right from a tribute to Mongo right into Black Adam on TV, and we lost the last half an hour. And it took them 3 days. It took them 3 days to get the full correct feed up on Max to watch. Which is insane this day and age.
Hey man, they got it up before Dynamite.
Sorry, no. That's whack. Because I was watching live, and you couldn't even watch the first hour and a half on Max. After that, if you just didn't watch live,
sucks.
Yeah, they just did not have anything up for that episode. So
hey man, when you mess with the final boss, that's what happens. Don't fuck with TKO.
Yeah, so you couldn't watch, and it sucked. And I eventually gave up, and I read spoilers for the last 2 matches because I was spoiler free, and I wanted to. But eventually, it leaked, or I guess you really can't say it leaked because it aired in everywhere else in the world, I guess. But it sucked. And
I'm lucky that I don't have Max, so I watched on the stream, which apparently still worked. So I was surprised.
Yeah. It's just, you know what? In this day and age, though, with the way viewership should be and how people are, 3 days is unacceptable.
Agreed.
And it's just a bad look. And just a little quick vent about Max. I saw some people arguing about AEW's visibility in the app, and it's not really good. I know WWE's WWE, but Peacock has its own freaking section for WWE. AEW, you have to go into, even when it's live,
and Peacock doesn't even air everything WWE.
Yeah, but you have to go into when you're on the main page of Max, you have to go into the sports tab, and you go to the sports tab, you have to go down 5 or 6 categories just to get to the one row of AEW. When it's live, it should be featured at the very least on the main page on sports,
just like Netflix.
And it's just not, and it's just not good. And I really wish that they would somebody in AEW would do something about that, because a big chunk of your viewers only watch on Max. But whatever. All right, next up, quick point I want to talk about with Julia Hart. I like Julia Hart, but I think she needs to tweak her style. I think she needs to change how she wrestles, because I've reached a point with her where I can't believe any of her strikes anymore. She's in there with Mina doing forearms and punches and elbows.
It looks a little like you can tell she's pulling back and just doesn't look strong.
Yeah. She's just, so she can't be a striker. She has to change her style to either be the high flyer or the technician. She was doing the octopus move for a while. Do more submissions. She has to find more of an offense that's more believable. And I think somebody has to get with her to help her find that offense. Because right now, what she's doing in that ring, I think it's doing her a disservice. I think it makes her look weak. And it makes me not want to see her on TV. So, And again, I like Julia. But if what she did on Wednesday is going to be what she keeps doing, I don't think she's going to work out long term. I don't know what you think. But
no, I 100% agree. And that was why I was always iffy about her at the beginning. But then she started getting better with the character. So I started liking it better. But it's always that she's always trying to be more of a and I think it's because of the group she was with. She was with Buddy Murphy. She was with Malachi Black and Brody King. So she was with the strikers, quote unquote. So that's what she felt she had to be, I guess, to fit in with the group. But now you're not with them anymore, or at least now you're not known as that anymore. Now you're Hounds of Hell or whatever, Hound of Hell, because it's just one of them now. But you 100% change the style, try to do more moves, try to do more submissions, do something that can adapt to your athleticism more, because you're not a striker, you're not a powerhouse, you're an athlete, you're a former cheerleader. Be an athlete.
Yeah, or just put on some elbow pads and commit to the hit.
But, that too.
I don't know, something. Either way, I just had to get that off my chest because I was watching the match last night and she was just completely taking me out of it with the hits.
I agree. I really
okay.
agree.
So, by the way, we are all well aware. Thank you for joining us at 7 o'clock tonight. We do know we're doing this because AEW Collision is live Collision is live at 8. As you can see from what we have left, we are going to do everything in our power to be off the air before 8 o'clock.
And I think we're doing a really good job, yeah.
I think we're doing a good job of that, although these next 4 coming up are the big ones.
I know. Here we go.
I'm sure we'll be off by then.
Well, luckily, with the last one, we're going to cover a big portion of it with the next 2 or 3. So, like, we're not going to be talking about all the predictions as long, I think. But we'll find out. Here we go.
We will. All right. So, first up, last night, AEW kicks off with Will Ospreay and Adam Page having another standoff face-to-face, getting all the stuff off their system, getting all the storyline threads out there for everyone to piece together and play with now over the next few days.
In case you didn't know everything, they put everything out there last night.
Yeah, Will even hits him with the beer bottles, not hits him, but gives him you're gonna sort of like a passive aggressive, still kind of playing like a heelish thing, but not being heel. But it's seen as a dick move by most fans that like Page. Once again, I love the segment, a home run. It just keeps like splitting that hair of like who's gonna win this damn thing. And also a big announcement, it's the main event. It's closing the show.
I love it. Honestly, because Anarchy in the Arena, I'm not as excited about. And we'll get to it later. But like, I didn't want that to be the last thing. I really want this match to this is the match that should end the show, because they're 100% right. This is the future of AEW in like right now. So I love that this is the match on the show. I love that how the entire promo, both sides, just literally back and forth, back in my head the whole time. It's just like, I don't know who I'm picking. Like, I know who my gut says to pick, and I think my gut's wrong. But then I think my brain's wrong, so I don't know who to go with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll let you do what you want. I won't show my hand until the final segment.
Same. Yeah.
But it's these segments the last few weeks have done a phenomenal job of building this up where either one could legit win, and
I'm totally fine with it. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, we shall see. That's
and you know what is exciting, and I think AEW, and not just because it's AEW, but because of the wrestlers themselves, they do this a lot where they deliver on these matches that we get hyped for. Like, there have been times in WWE, like the biggest one recently in my head was AJ and Shinsuke at WrestleMania. But there are times in WWE where like you're about to like sink your teeth into like what you think is about to be a great match between two guys you've been waiting for to fight for a while, and then they just overbook the shit out of it and it falls flat. AEW, most of the time, 9 out of every 10, they come with a home run that you expect to hit, and I think this is going to be that one where like I'm expecting the house to be torn down, and they're going to tear the fucking house down this weekend. I can't wait.
I'll be honest. I mean, it depends how the crowd is, but I have a feeling the crowd will probably be a little burnt out. It's been tough the last few shows doing these these main events after like another big match right before it, and Anarchy's probably going to be
as
right
I say.
before it.
I don't think they do that though. That wouldn't be smart. I think Anarchy either opens up the show, this way you can let the crowd kind of get back into it. Like you do Anarchy, then you do what? The tag team matches. No one gives a shit about that. And then you let the crowd kind of like get down from the buzz. Then you do the women's Owen in the middle, and then you do this as. I think that's the smartest way to do it. But I know that they're not going to do that. Anarchy should be in the middle. Anarchy should not be right before this match.
It's going to be right before the match. They're going to open. They're. I mean, I forget the full card off the top of my head, but
they got to open with Hayter and Mercedes.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Speaking of,
so this one, I liked it until the end.
Really?
The end of it.
Okay.
The end of it completely pissed me off because you've been building. We talked about this on the show. They've been building for weeks. Mercedes ducking.
Yes. Sorry, go.
They've been booking for weeks. Mercedes ducking the haterade, running away, scared of it, missing it, countering it, anything you can do. You were so close to that moment. I even said on the show, when that moment hits, when she finally hits it at double or nothing and goes for the pin, whether it's for the win or for a kick out, you're going to get your payoff. The crowd is going to know based on what you've done. But Now, with 3 days to go, you just do it. You blow it. You do it on TV. She hits the move, and for some people that's good. Some people like that because now they're like, oh, now that Jamie hit the move, Mercedes is definitely gonna win. And I'm like, no, what? No, like that doesn't make sense. Like that doesn't. I don't know. So I didn't like that at all. Everything before that was good. They did a great job setting up the match. I hated that though.
I do understand what people are saying though, because they were thinking along the lines that you were thinking, that now you're saving that move. You're saving that move. That when Hayter finally hits the move, it's over. And now that Hayter's hit the move, now people are like, oh, well, we saw it. Now it's not going to be the first time, of course, but
she could still kick out like that. You 100%. Don't lose
she could have still
that moment at all.
But she could have still kicked out. Like, I think what people are saying is, if it was hit for the first time on Sunday, they would have believed that would have been the end of the match right then and there.
Yeah.
Now that's going to get hit. There's a better chance that she kicks out, and it needs to be hit at least one more time instead of being the first time. And that's why I think people are disappointed if that happens. Because really, like, and me too, I kind of in the same boat where, like, the first time I saw it hit, I would have loved to go right into the pin, and it would have been one of those few matches where you get one finisher. And now maybe you don't. Maybe shit's haterade, and technically, since she's felt the haterade, she can kick out the first time, and then it has to be hit a second time, or it doesn't get hit a second time, and Mercedes wins now. Like, that's the mindset people have, and I totally get that mindset because of the way it's been built.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I think they fucked up. I'm sorry. You had it.
That's what I don't agree. Everyone agrees.
I don't agree with the fans that think it's better that she hit the move, is what I'm saying.
I'm not agreeing with that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I misheard you. I think you
made it sound like you did. You made it sound like you did.
My fault. No, I think it's stupid that she hit it, because I think it would have been better and made more sense for her. Now I think because she hit it, there's a better chance that I agree that she doesn't win. I don't think that's a good thing. I think there's a better chance she doesn't win, and I think that's a bad thing. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Again, maybe it was just the way you said something in there. I completely got thrown off. I was like, he sounds like he's agreeing with me, but not agreeing with me.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, all right, Danny, way to live on the fence, I guess. But, oh man. Okay.
All right.
Oh, our final segment of the night for Dynamite was a big Anarchy in the Arena brawl teaser for everyone to get excited for Double or Nothing's Anarchy in the Arena. Now, I had a few problems with it, a few nitpicks. I feel like AEW could do better with this. They do have certain weeks where they do it, but like, you should have had a few segments throughout the night of the Ops and Kenny and Swerve looking for them. Like, you should have done something like that. Because like, you open the show with them saying, "You're not leaving. We're not getting rid of you, or we're not done with you. We're going to find you and beat the hell out of you." And you're like, all right, yeah. And then, honestly, dude, I was watching the Mina-Julia match, and it was legit like 10 on the dot. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, are they not doing anything else with them? So, very odd pacing-wise in that sense. I would have done something in there.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of forgot that they were looking for them.
Me too, because it was right on 10 o'clock. I was like, oh, shit, I guess we're ending with this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't like that either. I agree.
That was a little nitpicky. The other thing I didn't really like, and this is part of Anarchy in the Arena as a whole, is this sense of like the forced match once a year, every year, in the same time of year. Like that WWE used to do, or still does, with Money in the Bank and TLC pay-per-view and XYZ. Like, okay, fine. You're shoehorning and forcing another multi-man hardcore match of Double or Nothing. Fine. But then like the music bit, like the first
I hated the music bit. I'm glad you said it. It pissed me off.
The first year they did it was really cool. It was dope because it was new, fresh, exciting. No one expected it. And forgive me if I'm misremembering the years of what did what. I think the next year was the live band instead playing Wild Thing. Like the first year was Wild Thing. The second year was a band playing Wild Thing. That still kind of worked because fine, you're capitalizing on something from last year. The same people are in the match. Okay. And then if I remember last year, I think it was the Bucks theme.
It wasn't Bryan Danielson?
No, you're right. It was Final Countdown. You're
Yeah.
right. Thank you. You're right. I didn't really care for that. By that point, I was like, okay, now we've kind of milked this gimmick.
And also,
like,
they had already done Final Countdown before that too. I think that wasn't the first time they did Final Countdown either. So I think that's also what kind of was like, like enough.
yeah, but like, if you're gonna do it at Double or Nothing, don't do it tonight. This is just a fight, a go home segment. Why are you throwing the music on there? So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do for Double or Nothing. If they're not gonna do music, I would hope they don't.
Yeah, I hope they don't also. And I also, again, I just wasn't crazy about this segment itself just because, like, we're about to get this on Sunday. I would have rather it been a lot shorter. I think it went on for too long. And I think you kind of gave some stuff away. Like we were saying last week, like, even though we knew it was probably going to happen, I was kind of still curious if the women were going to interact with the men, how much they're going to interact with the men, like whatever. Yeah. And they could have still held that for a little bit off. They showed their hand already on Wednesday night. Like they're going to interact so much. Like they're probably going to get in like little one-offs, men and women, and that'll be great and cool. But like it would have been nice if you kind of showed that, because you don't get that a lot on the national exposure. So for you to really show that would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm. So before we move on to predictions, Jay, you said could continue tonight since it was taped last night. Was it taped last night? I thought I had a feeling maybe it was going to be live tonight, but I guess it is taped.
While you I know that out, I need to fix my screen, so keep talking.
Yeah, but it probably was taped. I know I said what I said about it only being 2 live collisions between now and then. I just didn't know if they made a schedule change for Thursday, but it probably was pre-taped. Either way. All right, and now we're going to be moving on to our final segment. It's 7:45, so we're good on time. Yes, and we're just going to go over our predictions and share who we think is going to win. Now, as always, these are subject to change. We can always change our picks up until the beginning of the first bell of the 0 hour. That's how we usually always do it.
Yes.
So, starting at the top, we have the Owen Cup Finals, Jamie versus Mercedes, and you and I differ on that. You have Mercedes Moné. I have Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be Mercedes. I just TK. I feel like has a tendency to try to capitalize on the big matches when he has the opportunity, and who knows, the next time he'll have the opportunity for Tony and Mercedes, especially for a belt. So I just think he's going to want to capitalize on this. So I'm still going to go with Mercedes. And honestly, and I didn't think of it until tonight, but her hitting the Haterade maybe does sway it more, with like makes me more confident about the Moné pick. I think if she hadn't hit the Haterade, I would have been more with you, where like, oh shit, like she's probably going to hit it Sunday for the first time, and that's going to be the match. So, but again, that's after. That wasn't a factor in my decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so what I did with this match and the Paige Ospreay match is I looked at both of the competitors and I thought to myself, like, what's the loser of the match gonna do at All In? Like, that's how I kind of thought about it. Okay, winner gets the house shot. What is the loser? Do they have a path to do anything leading into it? And I was like, okay, if Mercedes loses, she has enough belts. There's a path there to do something. Loses, I don't really know what you do with her.
That's fair,
if anything. So, and it also All In's the 1 year anniversary of her return. That's why and also Forbidden Door's coming, which we've talked about with Ospreay, but Hayter kind of fills into that 1 year ago kind of thing. And I just feel like they've really been building Hayter up as like this underdog to beat Mercedes, and you can have Mercedes lose here and not lose a belt. Plus, I'm standing firm with they're not going to do 2 matches on the All In with champ versus champ. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Hayter.
Jim says that Mercedes should lose to face Athena at All In, so he's on your board with that too.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. And hey, you all know me. I love Mercedes Moné, but I don't think she should win this one.
Yeah. No, I listen, hey, I'm back and forth between the both of them. Like you said, right now it's Mercedes. By Sunday, it could change to Hayter. this one and the men's, I'm not going to be upset whoever wins. I think they've been both built perfectly, and I think both matches are going to be huge. So I can't wait to see them both. This next match, I'm surprised you picked who you picked. So please let me hear it.
Hear me out.
I'm curious.
All right. So Sons of Texas are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and Dustin is also 1/3 of the Trios Champions.
Correct.
And I just think, like, MJF just got in. What better way to, like, immediately make the group go somewhere story direction-wise? MJF's first show with the Hurt Syndicate, he does something where he costs them the tag titles. He messes up and on accident, and they lose the belts to the day one guys. And again, it's double or nothing. So Dustin talked about what double or nothing means to him and to Sammy and being the day one guys and all that stuff the other night. But again, this one is kind of a flyer right now, but I like the idea of them getting like upset here and lose the belts and be pissed at MJF. I think that's exciting television to do something along the way with somebody else. I don't know, but it's just a thought. Plus, I think it hurts to have your ROH tag champions lose, but then again, when does Tony care about Ring of Honor? So I don't know, but it's a flyer idea right now in my head. It could change, but right now I like it.
I like it. I just don't think that this is the team that beats them. Also, I think whatever the first underhanded thing MJF does is something to do with that contract. And they didn't really get to it because they got interrupted or whatever. But, like, you know, they made it very active not to let them read the contract really or look through the contract with smart Mark Sterling and everything. So, like, something.
I'm sure he missed something, and that's going to be.
Of course.
Like, I didn't see that.
But I'm not sure if it's going to be like what I was thinking, because they had the belts there in front of them, and then Dustin interrupted, so like it threw it all out. I was thinking that they were gonna he did something in the contract where they trade in the tag team belts so MJF gets like a title shot, and I was like, oh, that would be a great way for them to take the belts off, because we just don't know what the team is that's going to, like we were saying, like what team do you currently have that's going to match up with them? You haven't really built up a team that can really take them out. Like, I don't believe Sons of Texas is that team that's going to take out this powerhouse unless, like you said, MJF really costs them. But I think it's so early in this little relationship that him costing the first match he's in with them. Well, I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if that's the way they'll go, especially again with that contract thing looming. I think that's the way they're trying to get in. So I'm going to stick with the Hurt Syndicate until I see, I don't think I'll see anything different, but
all right.
You throw another belt on Dustin next, Jim?
You know what, Jim? I do. And you want to know why? Because all in Texas, baby. That's all Tony cares about. Get that hometown pop. Hometown pop.
That's all that matters.
All the belts.
All right, we got 8.5 minutes before we need a commercial, so we gotta try to finish this in the next 8.5 minutes.
We'll be fine.
All right, next two matches. Sorry, 3 matches. We have Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's Title against Mina Shirakawa. I said it. Suck it. I did practice that today. We both have Toni Storm winning, even though, very coincidental, Mina did the spot that this past Tuesday, if you didn't see the first round of the greatest finishes of all time, please look in our on-demand and check it out, Linktree below. This past Tuesday, you said you hated this specific move, the figure 4 leg lock around the post, and it happened to our AEW Women's Champion. You jinxed her.
Yeah, Tony held the fucking leg.
You jinxed her. And I think it was the wrong leg, which was so funny to me. But anyway, whatever. Next up, we have FTR.
Oh, hey, hold on. I got something I want to say.
Oh, sorry.
First off, did you see the Red Spiders?
Yes, this time I did.
Did you see it once or twice?
Once.
It happened twice.
Son of a bitch.
Progress for you, though, so that's good. And honestly, I think Mariah May is back this weekend. I think she's back to attack Mina.
So do I.
And not feud with Tony. I think she's going off her own thing with Mina. But
yeah, I think Tony wins, goes off, and then Mina gets the shit kicked out of her afterward. Next up, and they're gonna have a little contract signing tonight. FTR versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. We both picked FTR to win. I think this is one where it wouldn't make sense for Daniel and Nigel to win, but I don't know. You tell me your thoughts.
It would. It would, because, Nigel's Nigel and like the whole legend thing.
Yeah, but
also,
it's the
Nigel,
best tag team ever.
Nigel McGuinness?
McGuinness, yes, sir.
McGuinness?
Yeah, you don't know about him? That's his alter ego. That's when he wrestles.
Never heard it spelled that way. Or said that way. Either way. FTR makes sense to get the win here, but we'll see if the contract signing changes anything with that stipulation, if there is one or anything. Odds on Shivani getting wrecked by FTR, we can only hope, Jim.
Bro, I hope he goes to the table, but
yeah.
he won't. Imagine him taking that bump. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if Copeland comes back here.
Yeah, that's and we were talking about that. Does Copeland come back here? Because it doesn't look like Christian's going to get hurt anytime soon for them to like go off and come back together. So who knows how that Edge and Christian reunite will come, or that Cope and Christian actually now. Stretcher match. We talked a little bit about this before. Our both picks were Ricochet. Anything you want to add to that?
Oh, easy.
All right. Next two and last two matches, we have. Last three matches. We have the AEW Continental title match between Kazuchika Okada and Speedball Mike Bailey. We both have Okada winning. I think we both know that this is leading to that eventual him versus Omega title versus title match.
Yeah.
I would love for Bailey to win, but not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
And then in typical fashion, like we knew was going to happen, the Owen Hart Cup finals for the men, we both have different picks. I think through all this, what's so funny is as much as we're both going back and forth, I think we both kind of stuck to our initial gut reason of why we chose them. And then each promo and each segment they do, I think reinforces us individually of like, yeah, no, he's saying what I know is going to happen for him.
Yeah, no, listen,
I love it. It's so much fun.
I'm way more on the fence with the men's one than the women's one. I feel stronger. I feel stronger about the women's one than this one.
Interesting.
But again, it's me thinking about what their paths look like for the loser coming out of this. Okay, like Paige, there's a million threads you can do with Paige, with Swerve, with the Bucks, with all that stuff going on. There's something you can do there with Paige. Hell, there's something you can do with either of these guys with MJF.
I was going to say, Ospreay has some things. Ospreay did say one thing, though, that for me cemented it. And in my head, Ospreay is already having a loss ready to go because he said, if I lose, I have your back, which tells me, Ospreay, you're ready to lose and have Adam Page's back. Because Adam Page didn't say he was ready for that to happen. So I think that little Easter egg, I think that helps my point.
Yeah, but Ospreay did say, if it's the other way around, I'd like to think that you have my back.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Paige was
that's still an engaging story point where if Will wins, Adam could not have his back, or Adam could, and that's further towards his redemption.
Oh, of course.
And here's the thing also, I just want to put this out here too. For what it's worth, I think no matter who wins this match, they're losing to Mox at All In.
Yes. I agree.
Now that we know Darby is alive and made it to the top of Everest,
I agree.
I'm back on the Darby train, and I don't think whoever wins this is going to get it. So Ospreay can take the loss to Mox better at All In versus Paige. And again, I know they're in Texas, but I know Paige is a cowboy, but he's not from Texas. Neither is Will.
See, I disagree, though. I think Paige could take the loss because he's a former champion. I really think the next time you give Ospreay a title shot, you want it to be the time he really gets crowned and is his time to take the belt. So I kind of disagree with that.
Well, no, because it's Ascension versus Redemption. If Will's on an Ascension, you could take the loss to step back and keep trying.
Yeah, but he already took a loss.
But if you're saying Paige is a matter of redemption, you can't get all the way to the fucking finish line and then not win. That's a failure of a redemption story. Will is saying he has an ascension, and if he loses, it's not necessarily the end. He's not redeeming anything. He could take the loss, and it's a setback, and then he can keep trying again.
Yeah, Redemption's a little bit more the way you're going, Adam Page never gets a shot at. If Ospreay gets the title shot, Adam Page never gets a shot at redemption because then arguably the next person is probably going to be Darby Allin.
Yeah. Well, who says he needs the belt for that redemption? That's the thing. Like,
Ooh.
no, I'm being serious.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
even.
I'm
Like,
agreeing. That's a
yeah,
good
he
reaction.
doesn't need it. I mean, yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. I
I
think
got
it's a
one more
tough
thing to
one,
say about
but
Darby. We are under 2 minutes, so I want to get to our last match and see if I can
yeah,
fit in
let's
the
wrap
thing
it
about
up.
Darby. A last match, Anarchy in the Arena. We're both on the side
Mhm.
where we have the baby faces winning. I think the way just the Death Riders are going, it makes sense. The Ops are on a streak. You want Willow to get that win. Omega needs something going into the Okada match. So I think this is the way to go. It looks like you're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope it's a nice, good, fun match. Hopefully, the music doesn't play too long.
Yeah, right.
We know Gabe Kidd's going to play a role. Hook's probably going to come back.
I
I know
agree.
people want Eddie Kingston back. I don't think Darby's back.
No.
There's also Jungle Boy in the wings, so a lot can happen.
Maybe
It's
Jungle
already
Boy. I don't think Darby. I don't want who's the first one you said before Darby? Oh,
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie shouldn't be back right now. Let him kind of heal and come back in his own way.
Well, if he's ready. I mean, it's been a year, and Gabe Kidd's the one that hurt him, so that could be why Gabe Kidd's like showing up. But
Gotcha. Jim says, is Redemption Hangman getting a smile back? Maybe. And then he also says the history of Anarchy is heel win, faces one, heel one. So this time should be a faces win just based on that. But they might try to buck the trend and do a heel win. So who knows? Last thing I'll say, we had 37 seconds, really quick. Going back to what I said really quick at the start of this whole Death Riders thing. This is why they should have had Darby not have the title shot in the beginning and lose it, then go away for a while, get the shit kicked out of him, yada, 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 then come back after this Mount Everest thing. I think it would have been a little more powerful. Either way, I'm very excited. He should be the one to dethrone him. I hope they do it right. Last thing I have to say, 10 seconds. Anything left for you to say, Juice?
Hi, everybody. Enjoy Double or Nothing.
Join us Tuesday for round 2 of the greatest finishers of all time. Have a nice night, everybody.
Bye-bye.